Hey guys, Preston here. I just want to show you something new. It's pretty cool. This was a gift from my mom, and I'm blown away, honestly. It's a Bark River Bushcrafter in CPM 3V with a Scandi grind. It's a convex Scandi grind, actually. And, oh, it's amazing. It's really amazing. Beautiful knife. Desert Ironwood red liners in CPM 3V with a Scandi grind. Oh my goodness. Look at that. Look at that big lanyard tube down there too, compared to my Aurora's lanyard tube. The Aurora's lanyard tube fits inside the Bushcrafter's lanyard tube. Anyway, we're going to compare these two knives real quick, and you'll just kind of get my initial impressions off of this one. We're going to go into detail and look at the design and philosophies behind the design and what each knife is going to lend itself to better. It should be fun, very interesting. They're both Desert Ironwood. They're both Bark Rivers. They're both high-end steel. 3V versus Crew Air. Not too different, just a little bit. Grinds. Higher convex grind, lower convex grind is a Scandi. The way the handles and blades are angled to each other and why that's relevant. But all those different things. And it's going to be fun. And, yeah, it's going to be long. So stick around, see if you can learn anything. But, yeah, guys, I'm real excited. Let's do this.
Alright guys, let's try to compare these things. I've been shooting a bunch of different shots trying to get these things compared fast, but I just can't do it. I mean, it takes me forever. And that's just how it's going to be, so suck it up. Alright, real quick with the flaws. This one has a sharpening choil, which is nice, this whole deal. This one has no sharpening choil. This one's slowly developing a recurve right here. That bothers me. So the Aurora, that's its problem. This one has its own problem of a different nature. Down here at the base of the handle, you can see this gap that it got. The gap it starts right here, and then it comes down and it disappears right about there. So this gap, I filled it with super glue because it was bothering me between the tang and the liner. Called Bark River and asked them, hey, can y'all rehandle this knife? And something is wrong with it, and it's got a little gap. I could fit my fingernail in there at first. Now I can't because it's filled up. But they said, yeah, we'll rehandle it for you if you send it in. And I said, well, yeah, I have to think about that because this handle is beautiful. I don't know if I want to send that in. And honestly, the gap doesn't bother me that much, especially now that I got it filled in. So we'll see, guys. But yeah. Looking at these, let me turn these away from each other like this. That way you don't tap the edges together. That'll keep it from hurting the knife. This one is thicker in this area than this one. The Bushcrafter versus the Aurora. It's got a taller handle. Okay, it's also got a shorter handle. Looking at it from this way, you can see, hopefully, this one is thicker this dimension too. So, yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? But I'm going to tell you what those mean. Now, the Aurora, it's got a thicker shoulder up here. This area is a bit thicker than this one in this area here. This one's thinner. They both have a good coke bottom to them, though, so that's nice. Lanyard tube, obviously, there's a difference there. Pins, we have Corby bolts versus mosaics. Corby bolts have a shoulder to them, so they overlap and squeeze the wood to the tang. Mosaic pins do not. Mosaic pins are just very tightly fitted, very finely made pins that go in, and they don't have anything that squeezes the wood down to the tang. This is going to be more durable, alright, than this is. Now, the blade, we have a Scandi Vex blade, so a Scandinavian grind that's convexed over rather than being perfectly flat on each side. It's got a little bit of a convex to it, not much, but just a little bit. and that gets rid of the hard shoulder at the top of this. This shoulder is a little more gradual than a Scandi grind typically is, so it's going to make it carve a little better with less resistance. This one is just a higher convex grind. Okay. You can see, well, actually I'll show you in a minute, but we've also got a lot thick. The thickness continues a lot farther on this blade than this one. Okay, so this is going to be a more durable blade. This one is CPM 3V. The Aurora is CPM Cruair. CPM 3V is very nice, probably one of the best bushcraft steels there is. Cruair, on the other hand, though, is about 25% higher in edge retention from the charts I can look at, but a little bit less durable, maybe 10-15% less durable than CPM 3V. So it's a trade-off, and that's why this one is about $45 more on average, what this one runs in the same configuration than this one is. Now, those are just things to keep in mind about steel. These are both like 7% chromium. A stainless steel is 14% chromium or higher. A carbon steel has like 1% chromium, maybe less. So these are like mid-range stainless. They're not super stainless, but they are semi-stainless, I would call them. All right. Also, looking down these blades, the handle here. Look at the direction of the blade. The Aurora curves back a tiny bit, and then when you carve, you cock your hand back. So when you carve with the Aurora, you're carving at this angle. With the Bushcrafter, it doesn't cock back, it cocks forward. So when you cock your hand back a little bit, you're carving at a little bit less of an angle here than the Aurora. Actually, a lot less. So more like that versus more like that. This one sweeps back more for the same amount of angle there. And I'll tell you what that means in a minute. Also, looking at the Aurora in this grind, look how thin it is behind the edge. You see that? Or just the way it grounded. It's not super thin, but it is thinner behind the edge. And no shoulder, that bites into wood super well. Alright, looking at the Bushcrafter, you can see it's thicker. That blade is thicker behind the edge there. You can see that, I hope. What I'm trying to demonstrate or illustrate or show you, whatever you want to say. So let's talk about where this blade's going to be better. This blade is going to be better in batoning. This knife, it will be a better batoner. It's thicker at the base of the handle than the Aurora is. See that? See how like thin that is right there? Versus this one, which has some more beef behind it there. So when you baton something, it's your knife, you're going through a piece of wood, you hit the tip, the handle wants to kick up. Thicker handle back there, way more comfortable when you're batoning. Shoulder that's lower down busts the wood apart better. This knife will baton better than the Aurora, and that's just how it is. The Aurora, though, you see, thinner, a little less comfortable in batoning. It's got a cocked back blade, so it doesn't have the right angle for batoning. You want to go kind of straight in. Well, actually, having the cocked back blade might help, but also it means it puts that base of that handle way up in there too when you hit it. And then with the handle thinner back there, it's going to hurt a little more. Not like hurt. I mean, these knives are going to be super close in the way they feel when you use them in the field. But this one's going to be a little more shock to your hand than the Bushcrafter will give you. Now, so batoning is where this one's going to excel. Big time. Now, where's this one going to excel? Carving. And the way that the blade bites into the wood really deep. Okay? Why is that? Well, this grind, as I showed you, it's a lot thinner than this one. The bevel is almost twice as tall as the bevel on this one, which means these are the same thickness, by the way. So this distance to here achieves the same thickness as this distance to here. Now, if you cock the blade back on the handle, that means when you carve into it, you're actually going from this distance to this distance. So that's about twice as much as this one's going to be from this distance to this distance. So that means it appears twice as thin to the wood. In theory, if you're just biting into a big chunk of wood for a deep cut, This one should bite about 2 times better for at least the first half an inch. Okay? That's where this one's going to excel. When it comes to carving, notching deep, this one does the trick. This one will do better. Now, and also that's because of the handle. That surface area we have up here, that's going to give you a lot more surface area, which means you can have less pressure in the palm of your hand when you're pushing down into the wood. This one being a little thinner, you have less surface area up here, which means it's going to push into your hand harder for the pressure you apply. So this one's going to be more comfortable biting deep in stuff than this one will. Guys, I'm sorry how long this video is. It's just a real detailed look at the nature of the designs of these knives. So stick with me. And as I said, sweeping the handle back, you're increasing the distance of your bevel here, which means that it's going to be thinner to the wood going in. It's not going to be such an abrupt change, right? You can understand that, I'm sure. All right. So yeah, this one, carving tasks and deep biting cuts, taking off huge chunks of wood. This one's gonna carve better than this one. This one's gonna process wood better than this one. Now, feather sticking is the test, right? Which one's gonna do better in feather sticking? I don't know. I feel like this one's gonna curl it over more because this one is so shallow and thin. I feel like this one's going to want to bite into the wood more than it wants to curl it. This one's going to curl the wood better. So for fire making, this knife takes the cake, no doubt. This knife for carving and crafting, bushcraft chores like making hearth boards, carving notches, this one's going to be better in that department. But how good is this one going to be in that department too? I don't know because I haven't used this one a lot. I've tested it a little bit, but I haven't really used it enough to find out. We're just talking on the basis of design and logic here of how these two knives are going to be compared to each other. In the future, I'm going to do a video where we look at these two knives and we test them both just to try to get a look. They can perform very close to each other. It's going to be hard to tell a difference, but it's basically down to what you like at that point, right? You know, and can you get by with the Aurora when it comes to feather sticking and batoning? Sorry about the brightness change there. Yes, you can get by with the Aurora. It'll still baton okay. Pretty good, actually, compared to other knives I've had. And it'll still carve very fine feathers. Check my Feather Stick Tinder Bundle Challenge video. It'll still carve nice feathers. It just takes a little more skill. This one might be easier. I don't know. But, guys, I just want to kind of talk about these and rant for a while. Really digging into the designs of these two knives and letting you get some nice up-close looks at these things. They're beautiful, beautiful, very well-made knives, despite their little issues here and there. But, you know, if you do end up with an issue, and it is pretty rare because I've Googled it and you just don't find much about issues like the one I have with the liner gap. All you gotta do is send it to Bark River and they'll fix it for free for you. So I'm glad they're a company that's willing to make it right, because any company that makes all their knives by hand, they're gonna have mistakes. And the guy who quality checked it might have gone, dang, that's a $300 knife. Do I really want to send it back and have it rehandled right now? We'll just see if the owner likes it. That's something that I don't respect. But that's an individual's decision, right? It's not the company's fault. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Good company, good knives. I'm really excited about this one. You know, it's a wonderful gift. I'm really excited to test it and see how it performs. These two are very closely matched bushcraft knives. But we talked about the design and philosophy behind certain choices that they've made here. And yeah, I hope you learned something. Hope you enjoyed watching the video. And I'll try to do less long, ranty videos. Alright? Thanks for watching, y'all. God bless.